We've got another fascinating, all these matchups are fascinating, but this one's a really good one out in the western United States here. We have Air Force on the road at Boise State. This may be an interesting line to some if you are checking back in with the Mountain West, but Boise State is favored by 6.5 points, and this game carries an over-under 46.5 points. This game kicks off Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern on FS1. And boy, is there a lot at stake for the Mountain West Championship game here. There's a world in which these two teams, I believe, can play again, but it requires UNLV losing and computer rankings and a lot of hand-waving that, quite honestly, I don't understand, and I don't know that the Mountain West Conference fully understands it. But either way, another almost de facto playoff game here.
See my earlier comment about tiebreaker policies.
Right. So Boise ended up benching quarterback Taylor Green. That was a quarterback I talked about at nauseum in the preseason. I was so excited to see him play. He just really hasn't quite been the magic that he was at the end of last season. Instead, they were starting Maddox Madsen, but Madsen's now done for the season with a leg injury. So it's the Taylor Green show again. They've also been playing under an interim coach after they dismissed Andy Avalos. If you're looking at it, 6-5, and Boise State just doesn't cut it. They've proven to be a much better program than that. Now, on the other side, though, this is why I'm saying it may be surprising if you have checked out for the past couple of weeks of the Mountain West. Air Force has just tumbled off a cliff. The plane has landed. They are not playing the football that they were earlier. Their starting quarterback, Zach Larrier, he has not played the last 2 games. He's not expected to play in this one because they just took him off the depth chart. They're also without their leading rusher, Emmanuel Michel, or Michael. I apologize on the spelling there. 2 ways to go there, or pronunciation. But Boise last week did get that interim coach bump if you look at the final score, but then you dig into it and realize, oh my God, they scored 31 of those 45 points in the second quarter alone. They got a short field. They got some explosive plays. George Halani was awesome in that game, but again, it was just one quarter that they really put all that up. Now, my biggest concern for the Broncos in that game is that they allowed almost 10 second-level yards per opportunity to Utah State. Decent offense, explosive at times, but you don't like to see that high of a number in what they call the highlight yards, or the yards created by the running back. Even with Air Force downturn, I don't think that the Broncos can necessarily count on a $180 from George Halani. But welcome back, by the way. He's missed like most of the season. Comes back on fresh legs and runs for 180 yards. I do like their backfield quite a bit, though. But this isn't the game to try to flex your muscles. Like, we're looking at Air Force. They're 19th in top 20 in rushing success rate allowed on the season. The total's pretty low, but I think I still lean under the 46.5 points. And that's because Boise State is 37th in rushing success rate allowed. And I've talked a few times about the difference between success rate and EPA. EPA is kind of more big chunk, explosive plays, where success rate's more how often you get in those 4 yards. Well, what's Air Force's entire offense based around? 4-yard rushes, right? And Boise State counters that really well. So I can't take the points with Air Force either, especially on this side of 7. And Boise State's a much better home team than a road team.
Yeah, my numbers have Boise State -5, Brett, 64% win expectancy. What a weird season for Boise State. You kind of touched on it. The Broncos opened the season number 49 in my power ratings. They fell as low as number 70 mid-season. Now they're right back to nearly where they started, currently sitting at number 51. The offense has been a pleasant surprise, currently number 27. But the defense has had some serious issues. They fell to as low as number 95 a month ago. They're back up now. They're in the mid-70s, still the lesser of the 2 units here. But after all that movement, both sides of the ball, preseason, midseason, current, my numbers give Boise State a 64% chance to make the conference championship game. I mean, if they win this one, I don't know if it's a win and in, but I'm pretty sure based on like computer strength, if they win this one, they are in the Mountain West Conference championship game. And it hasn't just been a weird season for Boise State. What the heck happened to Air Force? At 8-0, this team was flying. Yes, pun intended. I heard you say the plane is landed or grounded. I heard that. This team was flying. Now they're not. Shocking performance against Army. I can almost excuse that one. It's an academy game. Those can get weird in and of themselves. But a 14-point loss at Hawaii, team I have power rated number 125. Then
they
last week,
they didn't have their starting quarterback for that one, so I can at least kind of chalk. But it's a triple option. Like, Brett, you got guys that can run it.
Number 125. Like, dude, not great. Come on. For a team that a week prior was undefeated on the year and really looking good. Like, I don't know, man. I get it, but No, I'm not excusing that one like I'm excusing Army, because those games are next level weirdness, which we love. Then hard fought loss last week to an all of a sudden surging UNLV team who find themselves in the driver's seat now of this conference championship game with a greater than 99% chance to make that champ game. The Falcons have slipped 5.5 points in my power ratings the last 5 weeks. This defense that was once ranked in the top 10 earlier this year, they're now number 30, so still really good, but not nearly the elite unit that it looked like early in the season. And the offense has stumbled too. They've fallen from the mid-30s to now the mid-60s. Bottom line, Brett, my numbers have Boise State -5. It's a 36% chance that Air Force makes it 2 wins in a row on the blue turf. Not sure how many teams can say they've won 2 in a row at Boise State in the last 15 years or so. So could be a chance for them to get a statement win here and keep themselves in contention for that spot in the champ game.
I know we're not talking about UNLV, but I want to track for just a second. Kelly, they won 2 games in 2020, which they only played 6 total. 2020 and 2021 combined, 2, and now they are favored to be 10-2 this season.
Another
first
thing
year under a new head coach.
Yes, a huge turnaround. Another thing, they're my number 2 overachiever, by the way, right now. Another thing about UNLV, they're number 37 of my most deserving. I don't think even with a win against San Jose State, they'd crack the committee's top 25. But we know how much the committee loves talking about ranked wins. Don't forget, Michigan beat UNLV back in week 2.
Yeah.
Is UNLV going to be a, quote, ranked win for Michigan? Like, I'm not putting a ton of stock in that. I know the committee does, though. I don't think UNLV can get there. Now, if they win against San Jose State and the Mountain West Championship game, and now they're 11-2, they might in the final rankings end up being ranked. But by that point, where's Michigan? How did the game go? All that stuff. But
right.
just another side note. UNLV's only 2 losses at Michigan, at Fresno State. So what do you?
I had that open to bring it up, and they have a win. I know it's Vanderbilt, but they have an SEC win on their roster. Like, this is an objectively good football team, guys.
Yeah.